to the start of the women's quadruple sculls. Kolesnikova, Olefrenko and Lialchuk. Next to them, Australia, Amy Ives, Kerry Hoare, Zoe Uphill and Amber Bradley. Amber Bradley on the left of your picture in the stroke seat. They're all wearing the same eye shades. They've got to. That's the rule, one and all. Getting prepared for the hot sun in Beijing later this summer. People's Republic of China in lane 3. Wei Zhu, Wen Li, Lian Tian and Yangan Zhang. And next to them in lane 4, China 1. So we have China 2 and then China 1 in lane 4. Bin Tiang, Qiuqing Feng, Yai Hua Zi and Zhui Jin. Lane 5, reigning world champions, Great Britain. Annie Vernon, Debbie Flood, Frances Houghton and Catherine Granger. And in lane 1, fastest qualifiers yesterday, lane 6, fastest qualifiers yesterday, Britta Oppelt, Manuela Lutz, Julienne Domscheit and Catherine Boron. Hard start, I would say, there from Australia, with a certain amount of bounce in the boat, but you've got to get the power applied and get up there and get going. So it was eminently the right thing to do, particularly when you're over on lane 2 and qualified second slowest for this final. You may as well set out your stall and get going. So there we have Germany, a new quadruple scull put together by Jutta Lau. Germany, next to them Great Britain, champions last year, champions the year before after the Russia crew was disqualified for doping offences, and so they finished second in 2006 at Eton, but were in the winter, course of the winter, were upgraded when the positive doping test came through on the Russian crew. Last year they made no mistake about it. They lost in Lucerne, but by the time they got here to Munich, they'd got themselves sorted out. Coach Paul Thompson, Australian by origin, but a very canny man. He took the Australian women high up the international rankings, then switched to Great Britain and took all of these athletes who were already training and winning medals, and took them into a new level of achievement. So Great Britain first at 500 metres, China second and Germany in third place. Can Catherine Boron, stroking the Germany crew in her 39th year, 38 years old now, in her 39th year, can she really make the difference and hold an experienced crew, Britta Oppelt, Lutzer and Domscheit, together and drive them to the sort of success that German quads, men and women, have come to expect over the years. At the moment, it's definitely Great Britain stretching in the second 500, stretching out their lead. 2 minutes, 25 seconds gone, and looking very strong indeed. Germany and China. Germany now back through China, but those two really level pegging. And you can see the way the China crew leans back into the wind and draws the sculls up to the bottom edge of the rib cage, and that's the way to go into a headwind like this. Really emphasize those finishes, and when we get into the nip and tuck of the last 500 meters, it's the crew which shortens its finishes into this headwind which will find it hardest to go. Ukraine there over in lane 1, and they're in 5th place at 500 metres, and really probably still there with Australia in 6th behind them. As we come to the halfway mark, And we'll see what difference that third 500 made as Great Britain, world champions, very well-trained practice crew together. They have exactly a length over Germany, which has a shade, half a metre less than a full length over China, with China 2 in 4th position, Ukraine and Australia in 5th and 6th in their order. But very strong looking. Catherine Granger, she's been in this position 1,000 times against Boron. Indeed, they've both stroked quads and doubles against each other, and they know the game, and I suspect that Granger will be keeping a couple of tricks in her locker to hold off Germany crew as this is now the third 500. I don't expect much to change. They'll stick to the race plan, they'll stick to the race rate, nothing too spectacular before the last quarter. 33.5 for Great Britain. Two and a half for Germany. That's 33.5 strokes to the minute. That's race pace. The gearing sometimes is altered in this sort of wind, but nowadays coaches tend to think that it's easier to get the crew to adapt to the conditions, so that if they change when they're out on the water, they haven't got, quotes, the wrong gearing. So nowadays most of these crews will train and practice getting the right feel, the right rhythm, the right rating, numbers of strokes to the minute in each type of conditions. The conditions, as Svetla Otsatova explained a minute or two ago, are likely to be very similar to this in Beijing in 2.5 months' time. That is to say, they will meet a fair, straight headwind, which is most likely to cause little disruption to the crews as they... The wind that's most likely to be fair, let us say, across the lanes in Beijing. So China 2 holding on to 4th position, but there's a good gap there because Germany much further up than it looks in that shot, and Great Britain absolutely supreme. We saw it earlier on with the men's 4 from Great Britain. They got out in front and absolutely dominated their race, and the women's quadruple scull is doing the same thing. So Annie Vernon closest to the camera, no longer in shot. We've got China 2 in shot, and Australia, who were in 6th place but have drawn back and have now overtaken Ukraine, so that we have Australia in 5th and Ukraine in 6th place at 1,500 metres. We're now with 200 metres to go. Great Britain a length and a little bit of open water up on Germany. Germany and China now pretty well neck and neck. It will be Germany in silver medal position unless China can do something very dramatic now. But as we close in on the line, we have Great Britain, without having really changed their rhythm or their rating, straight through the line in 1st place. Germany just a closed length behind them, half a length up on China in 3rd place. That's gold, silver and bronze. Now we have a little bit of a gap till we will get, respectively, People's Republic of China 2 in 4th place, Australia in 5th and Italy in 6th. You heard the beep of the car horn as they crossed the line. Winner, Great Britain, Catherine Granger on the left of your picture there, and then Fran Houten behind her. Debbie Flood, stalwart of these quadruple sculls, and Annie Vernon, new last year, but she gave up her place, she took her place rather, Annie Vernon, from Rebecca Romero, who retired from quadruple sculling because of back injuries, took up competitive cycling and won 2nd place in that race. So that's their results.